Namaste. Welcome to episode 1 of Vichasthal. Now, what is Vichasthal? Vichasthal is my humble initiative to bring to you stories of those everyday stars who have proved that there is so much of power and potential in one idea and one thought. This is, of course, a limited episode series, and I just feel that, this is beyond a talk show because this is not just about, celebrating the work of somebody. Of course, it's that, but it's also about learning from them. Because I personally feel that though there are people who are doing on the ground substantial work towards a cause, of course, all of us cannot go out and do the same thing. But even then, in our day to day lives, we can do little things to support every kind of movement. So, with that thought, we came up with the tagline Your ideation, our inspiration. So my today's guest, as you all already know, is somebody who I really look up to. She's an amazing person. She is somebody who is helping a lot of women have an empowered birth. And that is the topic of today's session, informed birthing. The reason I chose this to be my one second. Yeah. So the reason I chose this to be the topic of my first episode is that because I'm a mother and I strongly feel that every mother must have an empowering birthing experience. And for that to happen, of course, she needs to be informed and as well as she needs to have the right kind of support system. So who better than Dr. Vijaya Krishnan to talk about it? And as I always say, it is not about what is better or, like whether C-section is better or normal delivery is better. It is not about that. Of course, all of us are wonderful mothers, and our birthing experience doesn't make us any less of a mother. Even I'm a C-section mom, but it is about being informed, because I think when we are aware, we can make the best decision for ourselves. So let me introduce Dr. Vijaya Krishnan to you. I think she'll be joining the live very soon. We had some technical issues, so I'm really sorry about that. But I'm sure, one second, let me just let her in. Oh. So I think Dr. Vijaya is here, but I'm not able to take her in. Just give me a moment. Yes, finally. I think finally COVID has changed the situation so much, and we are struggling with these technical issues. And today also we had the same, but finally we have her here on camera. I'm glad to see you. Welcome, Dr. Vijaya Krishnan.
Hi. Hi.
And it's such an honor to have you, in the first episode of Vicharsthal, because as I was saying that you are somebody who I've always looked up to. So folks, let me just quickly introduce her to you all, though I'm sure you have already, read her detailed profile on my page. So Dr. Vijaya Krishnan is a certified professional midwife and the co-founder and director of Healthy Mother Sanctum Natural Birth Center and the leading official Lama certified childbirth educator in India. She teaches the Healthy Mother Lamas accredited childbirth educator program in order to educate and certify Lamas educators all over India, and also runs the Healthy Mother Breastfeeding Support Network. With a doctorate in physical therapy and specialization in women's health, she has also created a gamut of wellness programs for women throughout their entire reproductive cycle. And of course, we'll be knowing lots more about the work that she's doing at the Sanctum, and and also about how we as a society can be more supportive, I think, towards this cause. I think that is also something we would like to learn from her. So first of all, I again warmly welcome you, ma'am, and I see a lot of people already joining in to view the live session.
Thank you so much, Anupama. This is such an honor to be here. You are, in your own space, you have been such an influencer in so many different aspects and created space for so many different kinds of enterprises and enterprising individuals to come up. So I'm very happy to be here with you, and hopefully we'll have a good conversation about birth, because
Yes.
birth touches all of us. right? There is not a single person on earth that birth doesn't touch. So I think it's a
Exactly.
great conversation to have, and I'm really honored that you have chosen to start off your Vicharsal, the series with us with this conversation.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure totally. So, my first question, I want to begin with the tagline of Vicharsthal is your ideation, our inspiration. So I want to begin with the idea part of it, that what was it that triggered this idea in your mind that maybe you should be, spending your life, because you have dedicated your life to this work and to this cause. So what is it that triggered? Was it an incident, or was it, sometimes it happens that we hear of something or something that happens with us. So I would like to know that, what is it that triggered it in your case?
So I think it was like you said, there are certain factors that you already know that you're going into go into this kind of this is what your life it sort of leads you towards. But I think for me it was the birth of my own children, and
Okay.
it was the place that was the place where I started to think more about what is it that childbirth means to somebody, right? But my first one was an emergency cesarean section, and much needed cesarean. So it is nothing to say that cesareans are not if they are even that they are life saving surgeries, right? So, but that's then down the line. The second time when I've got pregnant, the only thing that I had in my mind at that time was I want to feel what it feels like to have labor. I want to feel what it feels like as a woman to experience the process of birth. And there
Right.
was no big sort of, thing behind it that I needed to do this. But as a
Right.
woman, as a mother, as somebody in the body, that's what I wanted to feel. And so, this was 22 years ago and 20 years ago. So the whole idea of researching, finding about, right now there are people like you
Right.
who are doing this work. There are multiple like online groups supporting. Nothing was available, right? And so
Right.
at that point of time, I had my only research was Lamaze, and that was like, okay, this is a place which has these healthy birth practices. This is what we should do in order to achieve a normal delivery. These are some of the pointers to become, advocates for yourself. And all that was a little, even that was very rudimentary. It was not a lot of information. It was enough for me to talk to the doctor and ask her about, what can I have a VBAC? And she was like, yeah, you know the pros, you know the cons, so go right ahead. And that was the gift that I got from her. There was not a lot of people in, and I had this very wonderful natural birth after a previous C-section. And so
Lovely.
that then landed up pushing me into this fear, which primarily, again, my friend was pregnant after that, and I kind of forced her to through that in terms of what to expect and all of that. And then we moved to India. We were in the US and we moved to India. And one of
Right.
the biggest things that I saw at that point were that women did not have information. Women did not even know to ask for information. Forget have
Right.
information, but what
Right.
to ask for. And the general thing is कि आप जाओ डॉक्टर के पास, the doctor gives you a XYZ treatment or slip for ये scan or something like that, and then eventually what happens is that you end up being to outsource your body to the doctor and say, okay, you tell me what to do. You are going to deliver my baby, but I have very little opportunity to be an active participant in that, right?
Right.
And so, and at the same time, we are also seeing that the last 20 to 30 years, cesarean rates have gone up across the world,
Yes.
but
Yes.
in India, it has gone up 300% in the last decade.
Oh my God. Okay.
So that's, if you
It's a
mind-boggling,
huge,
your
yeah,
body,
exactly. Exactly.
so
It
your
is
body
quite
is saying, but it's a wake-up call to say, what are we doing different? Why is our people say body is different, women are not active anymore, these girls are very fearful. From somewhere, this all the fear has percolated down to such a manner that cesarean has become the new normal, right?
yes.
So even
Yes.
to tell somebody कि why choose a natural birth. So then we started the process of teaching Lamaze classes, and then from that time is when we started people started asking us, where can we get this natural birth? And then came the idea of this midwife-led birth center, and here we are, almost 12 to 13 years later, and we have, this is what we have done.
Great. That's really wonderful. And, I think that really shows how a small thought, eventually, it became something so big. And of course, you're working with so many mothers, some of whom are my friends, they have spoken about how they have had such a wonderful experience with you. You spoke about this C-section, right? The rise in the number, especially in India. Why do you think that actually happened? Because earlier,
Again,
of
the
course,
voice
the
is gone.
situation used to be.
Again, the voice is gone. I think something to do maybe with my phone. I'm not sure.
Try you're not able to hear me?
No.
Not.
Can I exit? Can you let me in again?
Yes,
Because
yes.
Please, I'm going to
no
exit.
problem.
Please let me in.
Sure. So as I was saying, that technical glitches are something that we really can't do away with, and we have to work around with. So while Dr. Vijaya comes back again on the live, I just want to tell you all that if you have any questions related to birthing, the birthing process, or anything else, if you're a new mother, or if you are, say, to be mother, or you're planning to be a mother, then yeah, please feel free to post your questions, and as time permits, I'll be taking a couple of those questions with Dr. Vijaya. And now I think she has come back, and I hope this time she's able to hear me. So she's just joining. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, yeah, ma'am, I was asking you that you also mentioned about, the rise in number of C-sections over, over the years, and how and I myself have had a C-section. So, I wanted to know from you, because you are working in this sphere, and why do you think that happened? And why do you think it suddenly started being perceived as, like you said, something, as a natural alternative, or, perceived as something which could actually be good? Like there might have been some reasons. So what is your perspective? Like, how that happened? Whether challenge in your case, in the work that you were doing, whether that posed a challenge, whether you did come across people who were not willing to, be very comfortable with the thought that you were propagating. So yeah, I just want to know from you about that.
Yeah, and both are extremely good questions. I think the first part is that there has been a lot of different factors that have got the cesarean rates up. Partly, one of the reasons is that everybody is risk averse. Like, there is this no concept of that, that there is nothing in life which is no risk, right? So people generally say that, like if even with a cesarean section, there are tons of risks. One of the things that we know, for example, is that if a mother, a healthy, normal, low-risk mother, undergoes a cesarean section without reason, then the chance of her actually dying in the postpartum period is 3 times more than that with a natural birth. But people don't talk about that.
Yes, right. I was not aware. Yeah.
And that awareness is not there. And why do we not talk about that? Because tomorrow, if I have to say take you in for a C-section for a good reason, you as a mom might ask me, oh ma'am, you told me I have 3 times the risk of dying. But we are not comparing apples to apples. We are saying you're a healthy, normal, low-risk woman without any complications. Then she has an increased risk because this is a major abdominal surgery. You have to cut through 6 layers to get to the 7th layer, which is the uterus. And so when we don't talk about that, we also somehow tend to think that, okay, koi baat nahi, 5 minutes, go get an epidural, go get something else, you get the baby out and we are good, right? But we are forgetting that this is a normal life process. This is not something this is the body doing its own work. The body which knows how to make a baby also knows how to bring the baby out. And if we don't give that confidence to the woman all throughout her lifetime, that from the time she becomes and matures as an adult, starts her periods, from that time to say that your body is great, You know, it can do so many wonderful things. There is no education about sexuality. There is no real talk about,
Right.
you know, what are your rights as a feminine, as a female. What are your rights when you know, go in, even good touch, bad touch, all these things, right? So when we have not ever celebrated the feminine, suddenly how do you expect her to become, you know, suddenly very strong in labor?
Yeah.
Second thing, we have never been given a right to make your own choices. Like when you become pregnant, the first thing people say, okay, let the mom-in-law, whoever is around, choose the hospital for you. Okay, I have gone to this particular hospital. This is close by. Since we again think of birth as an emergency, this is the next door hospital. Let's go there. Have you had a choice to make in terms of who do you choose for
Right.
your care
Yes.
provider? What
Yes.
questions to ask? How do I make myself an empowered parent as I go through this pregnancy journey? Right?
Yes.
Pregnancy gives you 9 months to grow a baby and to grow as a parent, both.
Yes.
But we have not
Yes. I,
utilized that time, right? Then the medical system. It's not that doctors are bad people, not at all. Doctors save lives every day. And I know that as my colleagues in different parts of the community that we are in, we know that we rely on each other to ensure that there is a good safety net that is provided for the woman. But I think the medical system has become so entrenched in the belief that
yes.
everything in
Yes.
pregnancy is a risk, that from the minute you go in, you conceive, the doctor says, I'm going to give you these medicines. Where there is no talk about how are you feeling, what's going on, are you
True,
feeling
true, true,
nauseous,
true.
what are the things that you can do to make
Yes.
sure that
Yes.
your pregnancy is better. If you have, you write a prescription for protein powders, you write a prescription for a medication called progesterone, and you just say this will make your pregnancy strong without asking her why is it considered weak in the first place, right?
Exactly.
Medicines have their place again. If a woman's
Right.
had 4 miscarriages, yes, throw the entire kitchen sink of medicines at her to make sure that she gets the appropriate, you know, levels of support that her body needs. If she has conceived through IVF, sure, go ahead and give her the support. But a normal, healthy woman walking into the clinic, she has conceived because her body is healthy. So from that time, if we don't
Yes.
give her the support that she needs, then by the time she comes to labor and birth, what conversation are we going to have? She's going to say, Doctor, आप बताओ कैसे करना है बोल दें. If the doctor says 40 weeks हो गया, चलो induce करो तो induce करो, without
Yes.
understanding what is the pros and cons of induction, without
Yes.
understanding that that might lead to a cesarean section. And so now this fear is like a ping pong ball. The medical system pings it to you and says, okay, these are all the problems. You ping it back and say, fine, you know, if these are the problems, please tell me what to do. How can I make my pregnancy 100% safe? Are you sure, doctor, that nothing can go wrong? Then the doctor can't say for sure, for 100% for sure. So there is now this big ball of fear that we in the society are existing without
Right.
understanding that we are talking of some of the healthiest women on the planet, right?
I
When you're
I agree.
pregnant, you're
Yes.
overall healthy. When we don't talk about natural breathing, why do we not talk about it? Why do we say breathing and not natural breathing? Natural breathing versus ventilator breathing. Huh. Birth, birth. It should not be called natural birth. It is birth unless otherwise proven, right? But now because we have gone so far away from the normal, so far away from it, we have to now bring it back and say natural birth is better for your body, for your baby, for the lifetime of your, you know, your health for yourself and your baby, and choose a cesarean only if you've made an informed decision. So back to your Vichar topic, informed birthing. We are not talking that every woman must have a normal delivery. We are talking that every woman should have adequate information, get
I
all the knowledge,
I think
get all
exactly.
the,
That's a very important point. Yes.
and then
Yes.
choose. And if you still choose to have a cesarean, nobody is going to question you. Again, it's your body.
Yes, yes. I think this is a very valid point, and that was the whole idea also of doing this session. That it is about being aware, because I feel empowered choice comes from awareness. I mean, unless you're really aware, like you said, of the pros and cons and of all the other aspects around birthing, then it's really not possible to take that empowered choice for yourself. So, and I think some of the points you mentioned were really good. Especially, I like that comparison with breathing. How I think that was a very good point you made. So how do you approach, because I'm sure it must be not easy for you, right, at Sanctum, like when somebody comes to you, um they come with a certain mindset. So how do you really approach, like if you could talk a little bit about what are the things you talk to women about when they come to you with a certain, say, mindset. How do you manage to make them realize that yes, this, I mean, I can have this empowered birthing experience?
Right. So I think the idea is that many of them still see again. I always feel that no service can exist without customers, right? So the people who are walking into the sanctum are already in some way looking for that
Yes,
gentler, natural birth experience to a certain point. There are still
yes,
some who come in because their cousin or their sister or somebody, their neighbor has had a good birth and they come in. But generally, people are coming with some mindset. The idea then is to then transform that into a power that they can experience, right? So we talk to them about how it is important that they think of this as a journey that they are taking for a healthy, optimal outcome. We don't necessarily say, I tell them, for example, that don't come to me if you're just looking for a natural birth. That happens. God has given the ability to women that ye ho jata hai, right? Come to me if you're seeking good counseling. Come to me if you're seeking good care in terms of how you should take care of yourself and your baby in the pregnancy. Come to me if you're looking for in making good choices for yourself. So we talk about how we are going to be equal partners in the process. That they do half the work, we do half the work, and we are going to always have a participative care. We are not going to infantilize them. That is happening in society all the time. The woman's told,
yes,
ye mat karo, wo mat karo, this myth, that myth, don't sit down, don't get up. If you walk a little bit fast, something horrible is going to happen. Be on bed rest, don't have sex. There is just so many things that she's told.
yes,
It's as if she doesn't know what her body is wanting, right? So one of the first things we say is this is going to be a place where you're going to have participation. This is going to be a place where you're going to be free to ask questions. We are going to give you half an hour at every appointment. Our first appointment lasts for an hour because we
wow,
talk about everything that's important to her, not only her physical health history, but socially how she is, emotionally how she is, what are the support systems around her, what kind of work atmosphere is there. Drill it down to such an extent where she feels that this is where, and I always ask her before she leaves, are you happy that you're here today? Right? And
mm,
that gives me a lot of indication. It's not a transaction. Birth is not a
yes,
transactional event. It is something so beautiful that that soul has chosen that mother in
right,
that
right,
minute that she
right,
is going to be the bearer of this big body and this soul. And so, how can we not talk about all that, right? So, if there
right,
is a celebratory event around her, which also then includes the medical part of her care, which is measuring her belly, listening to her baby. As the baby grows bigger, we tell, I can show you how you can feel your baby. And fathers participate in the process, the partners come in, and we show them, here's your baby's head, here's your spine, here's the bum, see how you can play with the baby. Talk to them about what is going to be happening in the next few weeks, talking to them about, asking them about how they are nurturing themselves, talking to them about meditation, spending some time. Not every woman's going to fall in love with the baby. Not every woman's going to say that, oh, I look at a commercial and I feel, extra VP or extra connected. But every
yes,
woman needs to feel that sense of awe. We talk about that there is one cell at conception, one. There is 200 million when the baby is born. Now
wow,
that's awesome, right? And women need to hear that there is such a beautiful process going on inside their body. And when we make it into a medical event where between each consult, the woman doesn't even know what's going on, and she comes and says, oh, I need my doctor's validation to say you're okay, then we are missing the point. We've
Yes.
got to tell her that care is what she gives herself between my visits. And during the visit, she's then going to get a little bit more information and knowledge. And that's where the journey starts, where they feel, okay, I feel better about this. I feel more confident. And then there is no reason why they should not want to go in with this with eyes open, to
Right.
choose this path where nobody is delivering or pulling anything out of them, but they are giving birth with power and confidence. And
Right.
I can see Niharika is watching. Niharika had her second baby with me. She had her first cesarean section and she had a
Wow.
second baby with
Okay.
me. I'm going to invite her to send in some comments if she wants, but I'm just saying there's a lot of conversation that we between ourselves to say that when we are carrying a life inside us, we need to be aware of what the possibilities are.
Yes, yes, I agree completely. And I think you made a brilliant point in between when you were talking about how we infantilize the woman. Like, and I think that leads to her not really being aware of her own body because, she's hearing so much from everywhere, do this, do that. And then, I mean, I think, like you said, that whole thing is lost where I don't know, like, what's going on with my body. So you should allow her to hear, what her body is saying to her. And that was a very, very good point. Now coming to, I think, a question which I guess everybody always is asking, that is it possible to have a natural delivery after having a c-section? Like, say, even I have had a c-section, and there are many who always have this question, and I see a comment that sanctum is a blessing to me. I'm sure sanctum is a blessing to many, many women, and I love the approach that you take of making it a collaborative effort, ma'am. I think that is amazing, how you said that it is participative. It's not like a doctor treating a patient, and it's more of a collaborative effort. So that's wonderful. So yeah, I mean, what do you have to say to all those who have this question always, that is it safe and is it possible for somebody to have a natural birth after having a C-section the first time?
Yeah. So first to Vijay Lakshmi, I will say, hi Vijay, nice to see you here. She has had two babies with me, and her first baby was, I think, 4.2 kgs. So yeah, a big baby. She worked hard, she worked strong, and she's an amazing mom. So
Yes.
so my answer to your question about a VBAC, yes, it is possible. One of the things that I think people always talk about when it comes to a normal delivery after a previous C-section is they talk about scar rupture, right? And
Yeah.
one of the things that the scar rupture is actually, yes, there is a risk, that it's a very small risk. So basically what we do know is that if a mom's otherwise well, no other complications. If she has a
Okay.
single head down baby, which is there for most people, and if there is no other medically complex needs like high blood pressure and so on and so forth, um, and we let her labor start on its own. These are the few important things, because these things then allow for the process to go on as nature intended. Whenever we intervene, one of the questions we have to always ask ourselves is there a risk is more or is the benefit more? And so therefore all these things about inducing a mom just because labor is not starting, all these things increase the risk in terms of a VBAC. But generally what we know is that if 1,000 women go into good, strong, active labor, then three
Right.
out of those 1,000, it's a 0.3% risk that the scar can rupture. However, and if that ruptures, we are again not trying to push anything under the table. That's a medical emergency, and we should
Yes.
have the backup and the service to get her into a cesarean within a half an hour. And that's essentially from decision to incision. We want to make sure that she gets into the theater within a half an hour to 45 minutes. Having said that, I think for the most part, the body gives you some indications. Now, what I normally say is that if I'm sitting here right now and if I have to have a 104-degree temperature, I don't go from here to 104 like this. My body
Yes.
just gives me some indications. I may feel a little flushed. I may feel tired. I may
Yes.
have body aches. And similarly, the mom's body also gives some indications. And so,
Mhm.
if we generally follow those signs and if we get her in, then we generally believe that it is a fairly safe process. And if we have the backup, there should not be any problem. Unfortunately, we don't know which three women it is in the antenatal period. If we could identify 1, 2, 3, you guys are the ones with more risk, then we could easily separate it out.
Right.
The
Right.
only way we can do it is good labor. And worldwide organizations tell us that World Health Organization, American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, ARCOG, RCOM, all the World Health bodies tell us that a mom with one C-section, even with two C-sections, there is a good chance of trial of labor, and that's what helps. A good trial of labor, what does it mean? It means everyone's patient around her. The mom's knowledgeable, the partner's knowledgeable and comfortable and calm with this process. For me, a VBAC mom is like a first-time mom. I give her all the time in the world, right? We are not going to unnecessarily check internally, do unnecessary things, because that increases the fear. And whenever
Yes.
there is fear, there is tension. Whenever there is tension, there is more pain. So this fear, tension, pain cycle itself does not allow for the cervix to open up. If I come in every 10 minutes and say, I need to do an internal exam, how is she going to open up? Chance ही नहीं है. No chance at all, right?
Yes. Right. 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 Yeah.
Anupama, I'm going to adjust your camera because only half your face is seen. All right, because your
Okay.
entire life is going to be, that's it, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's the reason why we normally talk and ask and find out and give them the consideration that this process needs to have like this needs patience and privacy, right? And we often say that the way you conceived should also be a similar atmosphere when you bring your baby out, right?
Yes.
Imagine in conception, you were 10, 15 people in there, people walking in and out, jamming doors, telling you that position doesn't look right, you would never conceive, right? Yeah, but
Right.
in labor,
Right. Right.
what do? You have this woman lying there, you have her legs wide spread apart, she's lying on a table, people are walking in and out, labor room is there, there is chittering, chattering happening, and then how do we expect labor to progress? And then we make
True.
it sound
Very.
as if her body is the one that failed, and it's not. It's the system that failed her because we
Yes.
did not understand the hormonal physiology of labor. We did not understand that the same hormones of conception are needed at labor and birth. It's a love hormone.
Right.
And when the
Right.
love hormone is strong, the contractions are strong, but you also get relief. The body that gives you pain also provides you the rest in between. And
Right.
Niharika, who is watching there, she will tell you that during her early labor, because her mind was set and confident, she actually was working and taking phone calls from her office.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then
That's
when
amazing.
it got to a point where she felt it was not manageable, she said, I think I must do something different. And she came and within a couple of hours she had a baby. So I just
Wow.
feel,
That's amazing.
and I'm not saying every woman will experience it like this. Every
Of
birth
course.
journey is
Of course.
right?
Right. Hmm.
The mental confidence that you get and the information that you get is what helps you to manage labor, and then the support system around you should be there,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you have to be
Support system.
confident. The other question that I always feel is important for a woman to understand and know, regardless of whether it's a VBAC or whether it's a first-time mom, is
Yes.
you do so much due diligence to buy a car. Why would you not do that kind of due diligence to the place where you're giving birth, right?
Exactly. That's so true. Yeah.
Interview
Very,
three, four
very valid
people.
point.
Yeah, very relevant, right? Ensure and ask questions. What is your C-section rate? What is your VBAC rate? If they say, I don't know, I don't understand, maybe it is this much, it's not the right place. Or if they say, for example, that we are only making sure that we will talk to you about this only in the only when you are 37 or 38 weeks pregnant. That's also not right, because you should be able to say very clearly with good
Yeah.
confidence that if you are a normal low risk mom, you have a sky high chance of having a normal delivery, right? But if we say, I'll tell you at 37 weeks, what does that mean? At 37 weeks, are you going to jump in and say,
Yeah.
maybe this, maybe that, cord around the neck, low fluid? Now, what's the mom going to do? Last minute to change care providers is very hard. And even so, people still do that, but it's a hard process at that point. So
Of
asking
course.
your questions is very important. Ensuring that you have the right information is very important. You would not go to a urologist for a cardiac problem, right?
Yes.
You find the right care provider. Then you should make sure that you have to go to a place which has a 95-96% normal delivery rate to have a good natural birth rate, right?
Yes, right. Those are some great, I think those were great points and very informative. And I see a comment about Lamaze classes, and I also wanted you to talk a bit about Lamaze, like, because it is an integral part of, again, what you do. So if you could just throw some light, because I mean, of course, there are many probably who have heard of it, but don't really know what exactly it is and the idea behind it. If you could just, throw some light on that.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that we talk about over here when people come into our consultation is that if they want us to be a care provider, again,
Yes,
same thing,
yes,
participative care. Because
yes.
if they don't understand what is happening, then leads to fear, right? So one thing that Lamaze classes primarily are to inform and educate the parent so that they can advocate for themselves. That's like a bird's eye view of it. So people generally think of Lamaze as an exercise class. They think of Lamaze as a breathing class. They think of it as a tool to manage labor pain. So while
Yes.
it is there, while those tools are also there, the broad idea of Lamaze class is to talk about what are the 6 healthy birth practices. Lamaze comes from the name of a French physician who was practicing in the US. So his name was Dr. Ferdinand Lamaze, and that's how the name comes in. It is named behind somebody. But having said that, it is a set of it's knowledge and skills and a philosophy of care that women have confidence to give birth. Women are their bodies are made to give birth. They have a
Mhm.
deep knowledge which resides inside them, which only needs to be tapped, which basically talks about how the 6 pillars of this healthy birth practice, which is letting labor start on its own, walking and moving in labor. Because generally, what do you see in the movies? Right? Woman goes in
Yeah.
on the stretcher, yelling, she's on her back, people are doing things to her, and out comes a baby,
Yes.
right?
I think Bollywood has, has played a huge role in that kind of picture that we have of a labor woman
Absolutely.
in labor.
Right? And one that the woman also thinks, oh my God, इतना painful है तो मैं क्यों करूं? Right? It stretches में कोई लेके जा रहा है, someone is doing something, and the doctor comes out and says, here's your baby, right? And inside the mom like all tired or exhausted. Or the other way is Hollywood shows us as she's looking at her watch and saying, honey, it's time we are going to have a baby. It's not like that, right? It's somewhere in between. And
Yes,
generally,
yes,
the more we talk about it, I think what our grandmothers used to do in the house, where they
mhm,
were sitting around, making chapatis or going to the village well
right,
or doing, as a community, how they understood that
yes,
that pain comes, labor pain happens, yes, and the baby comes, and there are people around her. So in the olden times, most of the births happened at home, right? There was a community of women around them. There was the local midwife who did not have the scientific and medical backing and knowledge, but she had the hands-down skills. Sometimes she would not even make it to the birth, but sometimes she would, and or an aunt or an elderly person would help her have the baby. They would
right,
give her food and water, they would massage her back, they would give her hot things to drink. There were all these concoctions. If you look at our traditional customs, there were lots of drink.
yes,
Then they would give her a bath. All these things which were told in the olden times from woman to woman, now which is not there because of the break of the society, because of the fear like we talked about, and because
right,
we now believe that hospital is the safest place to give birth.
mm,
That's
yes,
what the Lamaze classes do. It brings you
right,
into perspective. It helps you to talk about what are the things that you have to be aware of. It tells your partner how to help you in labor and birth. It tells you
yes,
about what some of the positions are that you can use in order to make sure that you are managing the pain better. It ensures you that you have the ability to even ask questions and advocate. If you go to a
right,
hospital,
right,
you should know why is somebody cutting an episiotomy. You should know why is a labor being
yes,
induced.
yes,
What are the pros? What are the cons? breastfeeding, newborn care. So it's extraordinarily comprehensive and takes the woman through the pregnancy and childbirth journey, takes out her fear, and most people will tell us that that was the game changer.
Yeah, true, 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 true. As I think Niharika has also commented, and she is like, saying the same thing which you've talked about, that how it has really helped her. So that's wonderful, ma'am. So now coming to, the part of this, series where I think I also want people to understand what they can do. So what do you think as a society, small little things which practically you feel we can do to make the birthing experience of every mother the kind that she would want to have, where we can empower her. So what do you think that we can do, not just as partners, but others in the family as well, or maybe even friends? Sometimes even friends play a huge role in giving that kind of support. So yeah, so few tips if you can give on what we can do better for this cause.
Definitely. First of all, like we talked about, don't make her a child. Don't infantilize her.
Very important. So yes,
Give her.
people just keep noting this. The first thing, very, very important, please don't infantilize her. As a mom, I completely, understand that how it feels. So yes, that is the most important thing. Yes, ma'am. What else?
Second thing I would say is give her space and time to think for herself, decide
Right.
for herself, make good choices for herself. And again, as societies, at moms, mom-in-laws, whatever, she is not having a baby for you. She's having a baby for herself. I think
Right.
this is so important because sometimes when the people come into the office, now with COVID, everything has become a little restricted. Thank God for that. But sometimes when the woman comes into the office, there are five people who accompany her. Sometimes to the extent that I have to say, who is the mom? She is there, her sister is there, sister-in-law, sometimes the brother, sometimes the mother-in-law, mother-in-law, and father-in-law.
Oh
And then
God.
how is she ever going to be able to ask important questions?
Yes,
So
true.
everyone asks questions, but she is not. And then I have to say, okay, please identify yourself who is who. And then I have to ask her and say, who are you comfortable having in the room with you right now? And so from there, again, extending that infantilizing is also the fact that how do you give her space to grow? How do you tell her that it's okay for you to go and interview two, three people? How do you tell her that it's okay if for you not to tell me every single क्या हो रहा है अंदर क्या होगा
Right.
baby is growing. If she has the sense of growing a baby, she also has the sense to tell you if something is not right. Curtailing her, telling her not to go to the movie, not to use certain vehicles, not to do this. This common
Correct.
sense has to be there. Obviously, if she tells I want to go bungee jumping, let somebody tell her bungee jumping is not a great sport in pregnancy, right? But otherwise, generally, I think we should be allowing her to do the things that she needs to
Right.
do and
Right.
help
Right.
become a woman. This is a transformation of a maiden to a mother, and she has to be allowed to do that. Third thing I think is generally as overall as friends, family, whatever, if you have knowledge of certain places or certain like Lama's classes, for example, or if you have heard about somebody being a doula, which is a professional who helps the woman in her birth, or if you have heard about midwifery models of care, or if you have just experienced birth in a positive manner, like again,
Mhm.
Niharika was watching, Vijayalakshmi
Yes.
was watching,
Yes. Yes.
talk about the good aspects. Most of us are very clear to easy to want to मुझे तो 48 hours labor हुआ, so many problems happen. Yes, while those things are good to talk about, I think those of us who have had good birth experiences and those of us who want others to or have the knowledge of places which empower women, please talk about it. I would always think about paying it forward. Like I would always say, my experience is one that led me to do this. So anyone else who is hearing this, who is having a positive, feeling of even a positive feeling of connection through this program, talk about these things very openly. Talk about sexuality openly. Talk about a form. Talk in women's groups. Talk about how important it is for the woman to have this birth process in an informed manner. Like again, we said, it's not just about natural. It is about allowing her to make good decisions for herself.
Yes.
It is about giving her the knowledge and skill. These are things we can do as a society. And
Yes.
then, when the fear exists, tell her that we have many ways to handle this fear, right?
Yes.
There is good fear and there is bad fear. Good fear is one where if I have to cross the road, I look at each side of the road, say, make sure that there is not traffic that's just moving along, wait for the light to turn red, and then cross. That keeps me safe, right? Bad fear is one where every time I put my toe on the outside of the pavement, I go freeze. That's bad fear. So if you're having that kind of fear, maybe we need to seek out professional help and say,
Yes.
what's causing me this fear? Have I had past experiences? Is there something in my background that's making me fearful of this? And if that fear can be alleviated, as each one of us individuals in the society talk about it and talk about birth in a positive manner, if we can alleviate some of that fear, I think that itself will lead to
Right.
excellent outcomes for the mother.
Yes, I agree. I agree. In fact, I think sometimes we do the opposite. Instead of alleviating the fear, I think we add to it. So that is something I think we all should understand and respect what she wants, what her choice is, and I think it is also important to have that trust in her and to show that trust in her, as you said. So I think those are wonderful takeaways for us as a society, and I hope the audience who've been watching us have, I'm sure, they've learned a lot today. So thank you so much, ma'am, for all the wonderful pearls of wisdom you've shared today. It is definitely going to help everyone, and I'm really glad that I started the series with somebody like you, who is so informed, who is, I think, what I love the most is you do your work with a lot of love. I can see that, and that just comes across. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for, just making this episode special with your presence.
Thank you, Anupama. Very, very happy to be here. I know we had technical glitches, but I think
Yes,
we have had some conversations which have hopefully at least
yes, of
triggered
course.
some thoughts in
I'm
people's
sure, I'm
minds.
sure, I'm
And
sure.
hopefully we will have
Yes,
a tsunami of women who are confident and capable and leading each other. So I also feel we should think about this as how we are going to lead our next generation, right? If
yes,
every
it is
one of us
definitely,
women
definitely.
only has a C-section, what are we going to tell our daughters and daughter-in-laws, right? And that beginning of life is so sacred that we are talking about a baby coming onto the mom, feeling that love, feeling that connection, feeling that care, and the mom later on going to be able to tell her when she grows into a woman that this is okay to do. We all have done this. So I think
Yes,
millennials of women have done it, and hopefully millenniums will do it. And I think kindness and respect and care cost nothing. We can be
of
kind to
course.
the laboring mom. We can be kind to the pregnant mom. We can be respectful of her. And I think all this is what's going to bring together as a society to create. She is the womb. She is the Janani. She is the creator. Without her, nothing exists. So how
Right.
can we not
Absolutely.
respect that and give her the best
Yes.
possible information? So
Yes.
thank you so much for having this
Thank
conversation. And
you.
I'm going to be tuning in into every Vicharstal because I'm sure I'm going to learn from other people who come into the program as well.
That would be wonderful, ma'am. And thank you once again, and thank you all the audience who joined and who have been commenting. And I'm sure whenever ma'am finds time, probably she'll respond to your comments later. So yes, okay. So bye, ma'am, and bye everybody. And I'm going to be seeing you all next week with the episode 2 of Vicharsthal, which is going to be with Ananya Paul. She's somebody who has been doing brilliant work with tribals. And I think that is another aspect we don't talk about often. So I really wanted her to come forward and share her experiences and make us more aware. So yes, so I hope you all will be looking forward to it. And so bye.
Bye. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.